Ibrahim Traore warning the president of Kenya, William Ruto, to stay off from him because when he roars, even the tiniest creature in the jungle will confirm that lion is always the king of the jungle. So this is a warning from Ibrahim Traore to the president of Kenya, William Ruto, to stay off from him, that whatever he's doing, he should be careful. Because according to Ibrahim Traore, William Ruto is a puppet leader who is always working for his slave masters. But well, let us just calm down and watch this video to the end. It's definitely gonna interest you more because this seems like a buzz between the Kenyan president and the Burkina Faso president. Ibrahim Traore is sending a warning to William Ruto. Just watch the video.
While the jungle may witness a heavy blow by the forest kings, Ibrahim Traore is simply telling William Ruto to stay off his path and stop playing an imperialism game with the colonial masters. Because when he roars, even the tiniest creature in the forest will understand why the lion remains the king. Ibrahim Traore's warning to Kenya's President William Ruto has caused a big diplomatic issue. Kenya is upset about the rise in military takeovers in West Africa. But the question is, what made Ibrahim Traore warn Kenya's president, and what does it mean for the area? Can this be seen as a two-fighter scenario in the land? Is William Ruto among the imperialist Africans seeking to eliminate Traore from scene? Well, hold on, let's find out. Just a few days ago, the president of Kenya, William Ruto, made the most controversial tweet that almost but off his head, a tweet affirming himself as a puppet leader he has always been known for. In his tweet, he said, "I have spoken to President Emmanuel Macron of France on the situation in the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. He has expressed support for the regional efforts to deal with the challenge. President Macron also committed his country's support for the interventions being carried out and for Kenya's participation in other peace initiatives in Somalia, Sudan, and South Sudan. And that is where the internet went wild against him, with many reminding him what Ibrahim Traore has always known him for, a puppet in the hands of his colonial masters." While many African leaders went against William Ruto's tweet for constantly showing his ignorance by still keeping contact with Emmanuel Macron, the French president, Ibrahim Traore, the military leader of Burkina Faso, has expressed his disappointment against William Ruto's tweet. In his word, William Ruto is a mere puppet who is working for the colonial masters to undermine the effort of other leaders bringing the positive changes needed in Africa. However, Traore's warning is very important for Kenya and the region. It could affect President William Ruto's government a lot. The situation has made people worry about military takeovers becoming common. The Kenyan Ministry of Foreign Affairs says this would be bad for future generations. The region is facing a tough time, and everyone is watching how things will play out. Understanding the political landscape behind Ibrahim Traore's warning to Kenya's president, Ibrahim Traore's warning to Kenya's President William Ruto has caused a lot of debate. This warning shows growing worries about military actions in African politics. Leaders worldwide are backing coup leaders, which is against democracy. For example, Russian President Vladimir Putin invited coup leader Captain Traore to a summit. This move seems to support military takeovers. In the context of African political news alert, it's key to look at Africa's military history. Recent coups in West Africa, like in Guinea, Mali, and Burkina Faso, are worrying. They show a move back to military rule, undoing democratic progress. The warning William Ruto received highlights the need for African leaders to rethink military actions. They must focus on promoting democracy in the land and avoid every form of imperialism. The warning's impact is big, and Kenya's foreign policy must tackle military intervention. President William Ruto's condemnation of the Niger coup is a good start, but more action is needed to uphold democratic values and stop military rule in Africa. This, however, can be tackled without involving Western powers who will end up seeking for their own interest. As Africa faces political instability, It's vital to put democracy first. This will help achieve a stable and secure future for all Africans. Breaking down the warning. Key points and demands. Ibrahim Traore has, however, sent out multiple warnings to Kenya's president, William Ruto, over the years, and this has caused a lot of debate. The first warning came after Traore led a coup in Niger. Kenya's government wants President Mohamed Bazoum released, who is being kept at home. This has led to a big increase in violent protests. These protests have happened 75% of the time in the last quarter. The warning from Traore has big implications for Kenya's foreign policy. President Ruto's response will be key in shaping Kenya's relations with other countries. Many are watching how Ruto will react to the warning. But first, a lot of Africans demand he stop being a puppet leader who works for the interest of the West and not for the interest of African progress. The controversy has also led to a big rise in social media discussions. There's been a 300% increase in engagement over 2 weeks with the recent event happening in Congo, which President William Ruto tweeted about his call with French President Emmanuel Macron. A secret attempts to kill Ibrahim Traore. Captain Ibrahim Traore, the leader of Burkina Faso, has over the years faced many attempts on his life. The first was a secret plan that his team stopped. This was the start of many more attempts, each one more complex. Reports say the next attempts were similar but with some changes. The investigations found some clues, but the main planners are still free. The government is now more careful to stop such plans. The story of trying to kill Captain Traore is full of twists and turns. The government is trying to find out who is behind it. They want to keep Captain Traore safe from more threats. With assassination attempts flying everywhere, one can imagine how desperate the enemies are towards holding Burkina Faso in control. And Captain Ibrahim Traore is saying a big no to that, and whatever it will take, Traore isn't backing down. In his speech, Captain Ibrahim Traore made it clear that while the West and some imperialist Africans aren't happy with him, he doesn't care as he wants to liberate his people. He further declared that while his enemies will come against him and try to assassinate him as they did to Thomas Sankara, they should know that he is not afraid to die, and he is ready to see a new Africa that will work for all Africans. The ripple effect. Regional implications and future relations. Ibrahim Traore, Burkina Faso's interim president, has warned Kenya's President William Ruto. This has caused big waves across Africa. The Kenyan government is worried about coups in the Sahel region. The recent coups in Mali, Chad, and Guinea have raised big fears. The world is now urging action to stop more trouble. This crisis could affect trade, security, and growth in many ways. Countries like Kenya will have to think hard about their relationships with Sahel nations. This might change how they work together on things like fighting terrorism and managing borders. As this keeps coming, it's crucial for everyone to act fast. This was meant to wake up the world, but shows Kenya is very concerned. The region faces many challenges, and finding a way forward will be tough. But while the jungle may witness a heavy blow by the forest kings, Ibrahim Traore is simply telling William Ruto to stay off his path and stop playing an imperialism game with the colonial masters. Because when he roars, even the tiniest creature in the forest will understand why the lion remains the king. However, while this and more unravel, the world is watching to see what reply William Ruto has for the junta king, Ibrahim Traore. Until that time, we keep seeking for peace and united Africa that will work for each and every one of us, an Africa that will be free from the shackles of colonial cage and control. Thank you for watching.
So that is the video. What do you think about the video? Do you know William Ruto, the Kenyan president, has been labeled by many people as a puppet leader who is interested in the Western position, who is always interested in his own interest over the interest of Africa generally, and this is why he is always working for the West or for his slave masters. This is how Ibrahim Traore sees William Ruto. That's why the two presidents doesn't align. Even when they both were invited in Ghana during the inauguration of John Mahama, that is the Ghanaian president. The Ibrahim Traore ignored William Ruto when he arrived in Ghana, because he doesn't like him. The two presidents seems to have different agenda. Ibrahim Traore seems to have an agenda of trying to help his country, um, trying to make policy that will favor his country, which is Burkina Faso, and also trying to make Africa, great. Trying to make Africa to start thinking on their own and start depending on themselves instead of depending on others. While in the side of William Ruto, the Kenya president, he seems to have an agenda of trying to build a relationship with the West. And over the years, the West has been control of Africa. The West has been controlling Africa, and yet Africa is still going down, down, down every single day. Africa has been seen as a continent with the most poverty people, and that's not really what we need to see, or what we really that's not really what we who we need to be in Africa. This is why Ibrahim Traore is working as much as possible for Africa to be liberated from the West, from the hand of these people caging us, while William Ruto, on the other hand, is also still in contact with the West. So the two presidents seem to have different agendas. So, and everybody in Africa want to be liberated, and this is why everybody is supporting Ibrahim Traore over William Ruto. But you watching the video, what do you think about the whole thing? Do you think Ibrahim Traore is right, or do you think William Ruto is wrong? Who are you supporting? What's your own opinion? Let us hear you, and don't forget, like and subscribe. Thank you for watching.